I'm the Disc Golf Guy, and we're here at the W.R. Jackson course for round 2 of the Hall of Fame Classic. I'm joined by Jonny V for some co-commentary. You ready, buddy?
I'm excited.
Let's watch some action right here for round 2. As we said, we've got Grady Shue, Paul McBeth, Douglas Marinovich, and Peter McBride for the second round. This is the W.R. Jackson course starting out on hole 1 at 660 feet. Par 4 to get the day started.
That's a perfect spot where he wants to be.
Yeah, you really need to push all the way to the opening found at the bend. This is McBeth going with a...
That looked a little wide.
Yeah, but he filters through on that right side, and that's a great position. Douglas, a name we're not used to calling off exactly every weekend, but finding himself in a good position on hole 1.
Yeah, it's tough to see where exactly they're ending up. That, wow, Terry, looked like he just kind of filtered through the trees and ended up to the right.
Peter McBride, Legacy's own, the young gun. And sometimes if you're not all the way around the bend, you got to go with a forehand roll or something just to get out in the opening, and you're going to be playing for a par at that point.
That's not a bad throw from where he was at. That gives him a long putt.
You'll see so many times throughout this course on this property that the placement is so crucial to try and get up and down to be able to score well. And even though McBeth was in a really good spot there, hits the tree and
it's going to leave him a long putt.
Discmania's own Grady Shue, and that is a picture-perfect way to play hole number 1. Relatively calm day out here. Temperatures in the 70s or so. Beautiful October day outside of Augusta, Georgia at Wildwood Park.
That was a great bid from where he was at.
And McBeth would love to get this round started. Started out a little slow on the tournament, but that's outside the circle for McBeth.
He makes those long ones look so easy.
I think there's a reason he's the 4-time world champ. We're going to see a pair of birdies along with a pair of pars. We're going to move on to the shorter hole number 2.
Hole 2 is a par 3 at 390 feet.
This is a really routine shot for any of our right-handed backhand throwers. You really want to throw it relatively straight, and it just needs to fade. You don't really need to hyzer it. You just need it to fade at the end.
Just let the disc do the work, as they say.
McBeth with what should be a fairway driver. And that looks to be a little bit wide.
Catches a tree and kicks off into the right.
Peter McBride.
You can hear him say, "There it is."
Yes, it's a great-looking shot. He's going to be really happy with the result there.
Douglas has a little bit of an obstruction, but was able to kind of weave in. He's going to give himself a putt from there.
Some birds chirping, a nice calm day, and what is that?
An air ball by Paul McBeth?
Something's not right down in the Augusta area, but Grady hands the birdie, as does McBride. And surprisingly, both McBeth and Douglas are going to walk away with the pars. Grady holding onto the box here, hole 3.
Hole 3 is one of those birdies that you just have to get out here.
You do. This hole's undergone a few changes throughout the years. Right now, this seems to be one of the simplest looks at it. It's just straight ahead, 252 feet. Don't hit a tree, and you should be putting for birdie.
This is going to be a putter for most of these guys, maybe a mid-range if they're feeling a little frisky.
McBeth asking for it to sit. He's got just the right amount of speed on it. That should work.
Douglas is giving it an ace run.
A little wide to the right, but a great-looking shot. McBride's right around circle's edge.
He's going to regret that later.
High left chain. That could have stuck on a on a lucky day for you. McBeth's going to have an easy tap in. McBride's got the cleanup for par. Grady's keeping the hot start going with a birdie. That's a tap in. We're going to move over to 4.
Hole 4 is a par 4, 744 feet. Another hyzer.
It does start out pretty favorable for a righty. You really want to get down to a clean landing zone. And then most people will go with a righty backhand hyzer as well.
You could hear Paul. He did not like that. He grip locked that off to the right.
That is a very favorable kick. This hole plays slightly downhill and then plays to a sloped green once you get past the second set of trees.
That
Again,
single
placement
tree,
is critical here.
That single tree is just a little intimidating. And you can see Douglas almost catches it.
And then he stays clean. Macbeth's going to have to get really fortunate and work some magic that's just not going to be there.
This is 2 rollers now we've seen back to back.
If you're pinched up against that left side, there's just no good way to attack the basket. Douglas here, he's in a good spot, and that's exactly where you want to land. Now the question is, can he get all the way through? And it looks like he does. He's going to have a long putt from there, and Grady has some great distance. It gives him the option of going left or right, but he squares up on that tree. Best third shot is going to try and go straight through, but look at that hit and a carry.
He's struggling early.
He says, "Are you kidding me?" And I don't think these trees are kidding around.
Oh my gosh, no.
No one can get close to that basket.
McBride.
Finally.
Yeah, has a good-looking shot there, that being his third. Grady's going with a forehand that looks to be more than enough power. He goes a little
deep,
bit deep,
actually.
yeah.
All right, Paul's really got to get this.
Get up.
Nope. Disappointed Paul McBeth, that's for sure.
Good putt.
That's a solid putt here on
good
hole
birdie.
4. And Grady's ready to be done. These guys, hole 4, not relinquishing the birdies that we typically see here. A little bit of struggle.
Gets to tap in, but not what he wanted.
And then another par 4, 645 feet, plays down a tunnel. This one being much more narrow than the previous fairway.
It's a big turnover for these guys, basically. Just you want it to go straight, but just fade to the right, not so much turn too hard.
It's all about angle as these come down, because like you said, if you turn too hard right or left, you're going to be caught up and have a very obstructed second shot.
We're going to see how Paul comes off of that bogey he just took.
Oh, what?
Just when Grady thought he was clear of everything, he catches a late tree. And McBeth going with a turnover. I believe that's a McPro Rock 3 of sorts. And it sounded relatively clean. We didn't hear anything. And Grady,
That's a pretty good out to put you where you kind of want to be for your second shot usually.
another forehand roller, proving there's plenty of obstacles, and that's a great out there by Peter McBride.
Here's Douglas. Oh,
Got them both.
he got them both, but still
With
made
plenty
some.
of velocity.
Still made a lot of forward progress.
And not too much to worry about in terms of conditions out there. There's no threat of rain. As you can see, it's a little bit cloudy and overcast, so the sun's not beating down. The humidity's in check. It's just a matter of going out and scoring here.
No, Paul pulled that to the left as well. Didn't get the action he wanted on it.
Solid approach shot there by McBride. Grady with a very lackadaisical forehand. Good touch. You see, nobody really puring shot after shot out here to get started. And Beth draws metal from way downtown.
Hits the number on the band.
This being the final stop of the 2017 National Tour. Everybody vying for those last few points to get into position. And we'll see the cleanups. We're almost a third of the way in. We're moving to hole 6. Little sprinkling of colors on the scorecard thus far. And this is
another intimidating hole.
Yeah, if you
hitting
hit an
this
early
gap.
tree. Yeah, exactly. Hitting an early tree spells bogey at best, probably. So you want to make sure you stay clean. Peter pulls that out to the right. Depending on where you land, you may have a left or a right alleyway.
Yeah, that's all right. That's pretty good.
I would take that.
Yeah, Macbeth should be pretty happy with that result. Grady coming off the previous hole's bogey.
Throws it a little low. You want to get up a little higher than that. Hope to get more distance.
Yeah, if you don't hit the landing zone, which you didn't get all the way to, you're going to have a tougher time throwing your second shot. Looks like a great recovery there. And McBride's, after being a little bit to the right, just isn't in the opening either.
No, he has to just lay up, fight out of that, and hope to give himself a shot. Seen Douglas throw a few of these forehand rollers. He's having not the round he wants to on camera.
And speaking of cameras, of course, Country Disc Golf, your cameraman here on the weekend. Thank you so much for all the help and getting out there, getting some bonus coverage as the Disc Golf Guys channels, bringing you a little extra action.
Douglas was taking the thinner gap there. I don't think it was the one he was aiming for.
Says you. And Macbeth gives it a look at that eagle from way back. Solid putt from McBride.
Tap in for Paul.
Let me get back on the horse. And we're going to move on. Hole 6 in the books.
So far, no one's really running away with this one yet.
Not at all. McBride staying relatively clean. Just a one birdie and no bogeys.
Pretty clean shot for Paul there.
Another par 4 coming in just over 600 feet. And again, you need to hit a landing zone. It's all about getting to those spots, because if you don't make the bend here, it's really not possible to get up and down and take the birdie. So you want to be straight ahead. That looks to be just about a perfect play. And he should have a 300-foot approach or so, maybe a little less.
Too much.
He flipped that a little hard. I think he was trying to be a little too aggressive.
And here's the bend that I speak of. The angle's just not there.
Another roller. Poor guy.
Grady may have a look with his angle here.
I would call that a look.
Yeah, that's definitely a good shot. He's going to be a little bit short and right.
I don't know what gap Paul just hit there, but it seemed to work out for him.
He'll take it. And McBride's great drive, then followed up by an even better approach. He's got a
tap in.
headbanger. Yep.
Douglas praying to any god that's out there listening.
This is Macbeth for a long look at birdie.
Count it.
NBD. And Grady follows up with a great putt. And McBride not quite as close as I thought he was. But he's still going to put down the birdie 3 on the card.
Those are tap-ins for those guys. Little high, but that one sticks. Hole 8, 990 feet. It's a par 5.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Go turnover.
I think Paul was being sarcastic there.
Yeah, he was telling it to turn over. I don't think he truly wanted it.
This has kind of a double island to it. You want to go up this right-hand side, at least 98% of the players do.
Yeah.
And then, depending on your position, you will again say, I want to go down the left alley or the right alley. Just kind of all depends on where your first tee shot lands.
This looks like a perfect shot, right where you want to be.
There's a little bit of a waiting area and a hut directly behind the tee area, hence the echo when other players are talking.
Agree with the Fireflies?
And Macbeth finds the landing zone. He's got options.
Wow. You don't see Macbeth shank like that very often.
No, and that was rewarded with what might be a really good line for his next shot, believe it or not. And Douglas trying to go up that left side. The left side's shorter, and it's a little bit more direct, but it's also tighter. So you really need to be in a good spot for it. McBride's forehand
This is
pushes
Paul's
out to the
third
right.
shot.
Macbeth second guessing some of his release points, it sounds like. And you don't see that too often, but that was all about a placement layup, and now you can see how he's rewarded. He's in a perfect spot to execute his next shot.
Oh, my God.
But
He can't do it.
unfortunately, doesn't take advantage of the position he put himself in.
Here's Douglas. I haven't seen him throw a roller yet on this hole.
He's saving it.
Saving it for the putt.
That looked to be a good kick out.
That was a beneficial kick. This is a tough shot. This is a forehand turnover that you need to flex out and try to put in the basket. Apparently,
Really good.
Yeah. Making that one look really easy. And you can tell there's not exactly a lot of enthusiasm on this card right now. It seems like there's a lot of frustration. Just not quite the start they were looking for. Peter with a
no,
good
none of
putt.
these guys came out hot. It's a birdie, though.
little time travel while he's at it. And hole 9 has recently been adjusted. We'll take a look at that. Hole 9's been pushed back slightly. This used to be about 30 feet shorter, and now it's pushed up and to the right, making it a lot more forehand friendly or lefty friendly. You used to see a lot of players go with a mid-range kind of up the middle with a gentle fade, and now if you want to attack the basket, you need it to finish hard right, which is why you're seeing these forehands.
Oh my gosh.
If there was an OMG counter on this round, I think we'd be up to about 25 of them.
Wow, Douglas getting the fortunate kick, kicking hard right. Just wonder if he's going to be able to just keep it in the fairway.
Looks to be a good approach shot there by Grady from the right side fairway. That's where McBride is. He's going to throw the forehand.
Good up.
And then this is kind of mounted now on this mound. So there is a little bit of touch and finesse that's required. You see the shorter placement down into the left where it used to be.
So this is different than where it was at Worlds.
I believe so. Well, it might have been there for Worlds right around that time, actually. But in terms of overall, this was not the original hole that was designed.
Yeah.
What a great putt.
It was a solid save by Grady. We're rounding out the front 9. McBride is in. Macbeth and the rest will tap in. Thanks for watching. Thanks again to Country Disc Golf. That's Matt. Thanks to Johnny V for joining me. We're going to move into the back nine. Stay tuned. We're here for round 2 at the Hall of Fame Classic PDGA National Tour.